Harley-Davidson has revealed the next Sportster built on the Revolution Max platform, and it is called the Nightster. And I have 8 things you need to know about it. Hello everyone, I am Mike and welcome to New Bike Mike, where I like to share information about new bikes that I find interesting. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this in the future, then please remember to hit the subscribe. After all, it is free. From 2007 to 2012, Harley-Davidson produced a Sportster called the Nightster that was based on the 1200cc Evolution engine. The latest Sportster from Harley-Davidson is reusing that name, and it carries forward some of the characteristics of that bike, but with a much more modern take regarding tech and powertrain. This bike has been teased since last year by Harley-Davidson, and many of us have speculated on what this bike would be like. Now that Harley-Davidson has revealed it, let's take a look at the specs and features of this all-new modern Sportster. 1. Engine. The all-new Nightster has the Revolution Max 975T powertrain at the heart of this new model. It is a liquid-cooled 60-degree V-twin with a torquey curve that stays flat through the broad power band and engine performance designed to deliver strong acceleration through the mid-range. The 975 engine was originally shown as the power plant for the future model motorcycle called the Bronx Street Fighter several years ago that Harley-Davidson has quietly removed from the picture. No official word whether the Bronx is just a suspended project or canceled completely. The original expectation was that this motor would produce over 100 horsepower in the Bronx, but because this is a cruiser-style motorcycle, it comes with a tune that has more torque, resulting in less horsepower. The fuel-injected dual overhead cam engine has variable valve timing and hydraulic self-adjusting lash adjusters, as well as 4 valves per cylinder. It produces 90 peak horsepower at 7,500 RPM and 70 foot-pounds of peak torque at 5,000 RPMs with a compression ratio of 12:1. While we're discussing the engine, I should probably mention that that's not a fuel tank sitting above the engine, but a cover for an air box, and the fuel tank is located below the seat, which is a design we've seen before with the V-Rod. 2. Drivetrain. A 6-speed transmission is part of the unitized powertrain that works as a stressed member of the frame to reduce weight and improve stiffness of the chassis. We find a mechanical 8-plate wet assist and slip clutch in the drivetrain. As typical, Harley-Davidson will have a belt final drive on this model. 3. Chassis and suspension. As I mentioned earlier, the engine is a stressed member of the chassis, which is made of a high-strength alloy steel trellis frame. The tail section is a structured, lightweight aluminum frame, and the swing arm is formed from welded rectangular steel tubing and is an attachment point for the rear dual shock absorbers. The suspension on this Sportster looks more traditional than the suspension we saw on the Sportster S. It helps it keep that traditional look that was lacking with the Sportster S. The front suspension is a 41mm Showa dual bending valve conventional fork with aluminum triple trees, and specs indicate 4.5 inches of travel in the front. The rear suspension features dual outboard emulsion technology shock absorbers with coil springs and a threaded collar for preload adjustment. These shocks provide 3 inches of travel for the rear. 4. Brake. We find an actually mounted 4-piston single caliper in the front, matched with a single rear piston caliper, with 320mm rotors in the front and 260mm rotors in the rear. We also get ABS, but I'll talk more about that in the tech section. 5. Wheels. It was not a surprise to find a 2.5-inch wide, 19-inch wheel in the front with a 16-inch rear. The narrow, more traditional look will appeal to those that did not like the fat tires on the Sportster S. The rubber is by Dunlop, and we get D401s 100/90 19s in the front and a D401 Dunlop in the rear that's 150/80/16. Both wheels are cast aluminum in black. 6. Dimensions. One of the first things riders will notice are the seat height and the weight when they stand the bike up off the side stand. The Nightster has mid-foot controls and low-rise handlebars, putting the rider in a centered, comfortable posture on the bike. Seat height for the Nightster is 27.1 inches with a 120-pound rider. The low seat height combined with the narrow profile makes it possible for most riders to confidently place their feet flat at a stop. I know some cruisers have an even lower seat height than 27 inches, but 27 inches is actually the average for the cruiser-style motorcycles, and with a 3.1-gallon plastic fuel cell being lower under the seat, the bike is supposed to feel even lighter lifting it off the kickstand. Since we're talking about feeling lighter, let's talk weight. Since this bike is utilizing the powertrain as a stressed member of the frame and lightweight materials for the engine and subframe, Harley-Davidson was able to produce this bike in running order at 481 pounds. This is lighter than many of the other cruisers in this class, including the Honda Rebel 1100. 7. Tech. Now this is where Harley-Davidson surprised me. I expected ABS on this bike to meet Euro regulations, but not only did we get additional rider safety enhancements, we also got selectable rider modes. Now let's look at the 3 rider safety enhancements first. The first is anti-lock brake system, ABS, which prevents the wheels from locking under braking and helps the rider maintain control when braking in a straight line urgent situation. Second is traction control system. TCS prevents the rear wheel from excessive spinning under acceleration. The rider can deactivate TCS in any ride mode when the motorcycle is stopped and the engine is running. Third, drag torque slip control system, which adjusts the engine's torque delivery to reduce excessive rear wheel slip under powertrain induced deceleration, which is what occurs when a rider makes an abrupt downshift change or quickly reduces the throttle while on wet or slippery road surfaces. I was surprised Harley-Davidson included selectable riding modes, but maybe I should not have been. The new Revolution Max Sportsters are intended to fill a gap that was left in the EU market when regulations forced Harley to either upgrade the air-cooled Sportsters or stop selling them altogether in the EU. Harley said it was cost prohibitive to upgrade them based on the sales numbers. The fact that this bike includes rider modes, which is more common on popular bikes in the European market, should not have surprised me. The Nightster offers 3 selectable ride modes that electronically control the performance characteristics of the motorcycle and the level of intervention from the rider safety enhancement features. Each ride mode consists of a specific combination of power delivery, engine braking, ABS, and TCS settings. The rider may use the mode button on the right-hand controller to change the active ride mode while riding the motorcycle or when stopped, with some exceptions. A unique icon for each mode appears on the instrument display when that mode has been selected. Harley-Davidson reports that road mode is intended for daily use and delivers balanced performance. This mode offers less aggressive throttle response and less mid-range engine power than the sport mode, with a higher level of ABS and TCS intervention. Sport mode delivers the full performance potential of the motorcycle in a direct and precise manner, with full power and the quickest throttle response. TCS is set at the lowest level of intervention and engine braking is increased. Rain mode is designed to give the rider greater confidence when riding in the rain or when traction is otherwise limited. Throttle response and power output is programmed to significantly restrain the rate of acceleration. Engine braking is limited and the highest levels of ABS and TCS intervention are selected. The Nightster also features a 4-inch round diameter analog speedometer with an insert digital display mounted on the handlebar riser. While the gauge does seem to be lacking a tachometer, it does have a fuel indicator and low tire pressure warning lights among many of the other indicators. We also get all LED lighting, including a Daymaker LED headlight and a combination rear brake tail signal LED lighting that is located on the rear fender, which is only available for the US market. 8. Colors and price. We got 3 color options, and Vivid Black is going to cost you $13,499, while Gunship Gray or Redline Red will cost you $13,899. While we're talking about price, I want to mention that Harley-Davidson is already listing parts like forward control kits, reach handlebars, passenger pillions, in addition to other accessories to dress up the bike, including a velocity stack for the airbox or a heavy breather like the one that is used on the Milwaukee 8 air-cooled motors. Oh, before we go, I almost forgot to mention it arrives at authorized Harley-Davidson dealerships globally beginning in April of 2022. Don't forget to like the video, it really helps the channel grow, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from New Bike Mike. Thanks guys, see you in the next one.